The Arsenal Supporters Club, Bengal Arsenal Supporters Club, met you at the airport last night. I think you had a little bit of fun. Were you met like that back in 2017?
Not like that, but this time was amazing. It's so lovely to see. You know, the amazing thing is to see the fans around the world. That's a special thing for me. You know, great reception. You know, like it's love in the air. And also the appreciation of what you've done, you know, what I've done for Arsenal. Also the appreciation for me, to you guys, you know, there at the airport. And I truly appreciate that because, you know, it's an amazing feeling to play for Arsenal. But also to see how far and wide around the world Arsenal means to so many people. And I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Were you aware of the intensity of the passion for football here in Kolkata?
Kind of, because I was told that, you know, they love their football here, and this is one of the states they really, you know, get football, enjoy it. So I kind of had a little taste of that last time. This time is equally as passionate, and I think, you know, it's obviously we know cricket is number one, you know, across the land. But football is there, it has passion, it has roots, has history as well. So it's great to be a part of that. You know, if I can spread some kind of warmth, and can spread the, you know, inspire other kids to kind of take up football in the future. Me being here, you never know. I'm all for that.
But you're a big advocate for just fitness and you know, people improving themselves through sport generally. Are you a bit of a cricket fan? Your mum and dad from Jamaica?
Yeah, my dad's from Jamaica. You know, I enjoy cricket, but I'm not like a cricket connoisseur. I've been to a few games. I went to the World Cup when it was in the Caribbean as well. That was quite nice. But I'm not a connoisseur of cricket. I appreciate the players ins and outs of cricket.
You don't strike me as somebody that would be a spin bowler, but I think there'd probably be a bit of power coming down the wicket. Did you ever do any cricket as a kid?
Yes, I played cricket. The sports that were around me, I'm a street footballer, so most of my sports are played in the streets. So you've got football and you've got cricket. Sometimes we had there was a cricket pitch in my local park, a little bit of basketball, and that in athletics, and that's about it.
I don't know if there is, but presumably there is a Bengal Tottenham Supporters Club. You've been up there for 9 years. You must have mostly good memories of Spurs.
It's love football. You know, good memories.
Mostly.
Youth team. We had a really good youth team. We flooded the cup and league and had a nice time. Okay, I was captain, won the League Cup. Other than that, it was I played some good football, but it was a struggle.
But your prime years, your years in your real best form were Arsenal. What stands out? Is it the double? When you got the League Cup, the FA Cup? Is it the Invincibles year, 03, 04? What stands out and why? Because there's so many sort of peaks to your career. So, you know, was it 75 appearances for England, 4 World Cups or 3 World Cups? You know, you've been there and done it.
I think for me, what stands out is probably, you know, the first season at Arsenal was incredibly stressful for me. I don't think anyone in the world, other than maybe Figo, was under that amount of scrutiny, pressure. You know, it was a pressure cooker as soon as I woke up, pressure cooker when I walked on the streets, pressure cooker when I went to training, pressure cooker if I went out for something to eat. It was everywhere. And you had politicians saying whatever, you had comedians saying whatever, you had the fans saying whatever, you heard, you know, other players talking, the man on the street, the taxi man, the truck driver, the school teacher, everybody had their way, everybody had their say in what Sol Campbell, how's he playing, what's going to happen to him this season, is he going to leave Arsenal, can he take the pressure? And it was immense, it wasn't easy. I don't think people realise, I think if this happened now, I don't think it would happen now in the sense that the scrutiny, what I went through and to play the game I love, it was beyond. It was beyond football because you had to almost go so deep in your system, so deep in your life, to kind of look beyond this scrutiny, look beyond this, people second guessing you and lying about you, and newspapers writing rubbish, or you played an amazing game, you had one mistake, and they would write, say he had a bad game. I had to deal with that. With all that pressure, and then get through an injury in the beginning of the season, and then win. And winning the double the first season under that extreme pressure from family, from everybody. People can't realize that if you was around in London around that time, I don't think you would be allowed to put that type of pressure on anyone else in the world. I don't think there's some people got away with hostilities against me, was way beyond football. It was on different galaxies, different atmosphere, the way people would carry on, and no accountability of how I felt, how my family felt, how everyone was, allowing this to kind of continue under this type of pressure, and I had to play football, and I had to keep my dignity, and I had to stay fit, and I had to hold my tongue, and I had to just let my football do the talking. I think, there was, people would say, hey, you put it on yourself, but hey, I got through it, but hey, that should really happen. The way I was treated, the way people turned their backs, the way my authorities turned my backs against me, from the FA, Premier League, PFA, everybody, stuck their heads in the sand and wild soul, just get on with it. And I got on with it, and I won, but then you always look back and say, hey, that was way over the top, and no one helped me. And for me, I can say, you know what, I did it on my own with the players, great players, fantastic players. Those guys helped me through this, and my family. But to win the double under that type of scrutiny was a cauldron all the time. Every time I kind of got out of bed and stuck my head out the door. And to win the double was so special, so unique, and I'll never forget winning the game against Man United, and we won the league. And then we had to play, it was another round, the final, FA Cup final, and the double was just incredible. Winning the double was so special, so unique, so out of this world. The grace of God, I got through that and played amazing football with guys who just put everything on the line. Desire, skill, talent, everything on the line. And to be in that environment where everything's on the line, because it was harsh at that time, it was harsh. Media was harsh. Dangerous. Harsh and dangerous. And to get through that and turn everything around, turn fans around, turn Arsenal fans around, because they were still saying, oh, can someone do it? And I did it. I did it for the love of football. I did it for Arsenal. I did it for my family. And also now I can actually sit back and say and talk about this. Before I couldn't talk about this because it was something that really hurt me. The way people just left me to kind of fend for myself. And to get through that and win for the love of football, I'm glad to tell the story. And I'm happy, and I've always, for me, the one thing I did, I kept football at the heart of things, the love of football.
Going back to the positive stuff, because that was very, very intense and good to hear, you unloading like that. At 23, you became captain of England. That, for many people, that is the ultimate, to captain your country, be it cricket, football, anything else. You had a really strict dad as a kid, as I understand it. But what has been your main motivation? And this applies to kids all over, throughout India, whatever their sport, whatever they choose to do. What was your motivation, your driving force when you were a youngster? And then coming through your teens?
The main thing for me is being competitive. I just wanted to compete. I wanted to, I came from a big family, 9 brothers, 2 sisters. And I'm from the streets. I am like that's where I learned most of my football, from the streets, school football, district football. But I played street football till the age of 14, which is unheard of. It's completely gone now in the UK. Still probably South America, Africa, parts of Asia, all parts of Europe. Still street football, but UK is almost vanished. So for me, that's what it's all about. That showed me. That's who I am. You know, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget my roots.
And that was a great thing, isn't it? Because sport is a great leveler, if you like, you know. And I mean, running. So I know I've read that you say I can't run in long distances, but you could shift a bit. You've got quick feet. You've got fast twitch muscles. You're lucky in that respect, I suppose, which is so important for all footballers, whether they're a forward or a defender. But running and football have been wonderful levelers in society and in India at the moment. So women's participation is going through the roof here. In this city alone, this race from 8 years ago, women's participation has gone up 270%. So there's so many positives to sport, and it's good to see you putting that message out.
I think for me, it's all the participation. That's what it's all about. You know, especially for women, you've got religion and things like that, and obviously time, you know, it's not, you know, through religion and through kind of society and attitudes and stereotypical kind of ideas. You know, women have always, you know, is it okay for women to, you know, wear a short skirt or t-shirts and things like that? And I totally understand that, because it's a shift. It takes time to shift mentality, shift kind of, you know, the way people, you know, perceive. And it's good that, you know, this has come along. I think it's the 9th year here. It's 20,000 participants. You know, that's what it's all about. I think it really aligns with what the government, the Prime Minister wants as well. You know, getting people fit, getting India fit as well. That's great. So everyone's kind of coming together in a nice way. And the more people participate, I think it's going to inspire the next generation as well. And to be a part of that, see that in the generation, not wait 50 years for it to happen, you know, that's what it's all about as well.
So since retiring, Sol, you've taken quite an unusual path. You've been into management, football management. You started going into politics. I want to know if you've still got ambitions in that area. You put yourself up as to be mayor of London. And to be that rounded in terms of your view of the world, not just sport. You've got to have good perception of so many things. And this event, for example, has a great eco-friendly footprint. You know, they're trying to be, sustainability is so important. In a country like this with 1.3 billion people going up all the time. So sustainability is important. How have you expanded your self-awareness of these things since you retired from football? Or were you always into that sort of rounded person?
I think the main thing is I've always been like that. I didn't travel until, you know, I traveled a few, you know, I used to go back to Jamaica, and my mum used to take me back over there as a youngster. The main thing for me is sensitive to that surroundings. And I've always been like that. I've always been aware. I've always wanted to find out what's around the corner. And for me, you know, I grew up with hardly any books in my household. You know, just the Bible. So I literally had to go out and find information. I had to do that. I didn't have it, you know, on my doorstep. So that's for me, I'm very curious. I'm a curious person. I think it's healthy to be curious as a youngster. And that's what, for me, carried on. Carried on when I used to travel with football. I used to always, you know, sometimes when I went away, I would ask, you know, the waiter, the person, whoever, the receptionist, how is it, what is this place like? Or what is your country like, or whatever. And I would always ask questions, because I always would say, what's this place like? You know, everywhere, because as a footballer, you travel around the world, you travel, you know, there's, you know, far-flung places when you go for World Cups and European Cups. Also, you know, day to day, how is it in Manchester? How is it in Newcastle? How is it in, you know, an FA Cup game, you know, somewhere in the West Country or whatever, Bristol. So I'd always, not only, you know, for me, it's a part of me, it's a part of my life. I want to find out things. And that's the beautiful thing, you know, that crosses the board, that crosses in football. I want to learn more about football. I want to learn this, I want to learn that. I'm practicing by myself, I'm practicing with the team, I'm reflecting on my performances, all that kind of stuff. I've always been wanting to not self-taught, But, you know, I want to keep going. There's always something to learn. There's always something to do. You never stop learning. And I've always kept that attitude, and it's led me into other areas. You know, what I'm doing with technology, and I want to, you know, improve myself. I studied at Harvard University, media, business and sports degree. So I wanted to kind of learn. I wanted to better myself, you know, because I didn't have that. I've got the mind. I used to study maths, design and organization. I used to do, you know, science and all these information technology things. I used to do that. I had to stop for like 20 years, and then I kind of slowly got back into it. And I'm using all those kind of elements. I'm using how, you know, to bring a team together, and using how to say, you know what, stop this, let's go a different direction, or let's carry on this path. It's a bit rocky, but I can see if we keep going, we can get somewhere. So I'm using all those things, traveling around, and I'm sensitive to that, and I understand that. I know when to stop. I know when to listen, and that's the, you know, and I know when to stop, listen, and learn, and then you go from there. So I'm very perceptive. I'm not kind of shut off. There's some players who just go play their football and that's it. I've never been like that. I've always wanted to see or hear the other side of the coin, because there's so much, and that's how you learn. If a lot more people had the opportunity to travel, I think there'd be a lot more. There'd be less problems in the world. With, you know, people not understanding religion, understanding where people are coming from, and all that kind of stuff. Because people don't travel. That's the thing. But not everyone can travel. I get it.